Hello and welcome back to Simple-ESL, the simple way to learn English. And in today's lesson, we are going to be looking at the present simple for everyday life. So this will be talking about jobs, studies, and daily routines. This lesson is designed for an A2 level, so if you think that's you, let's get started. Now, what are we planning on learning in today's lesson? We're going to use the present simple to make positive and negative sentences. We're going to ask and answer using yes, no, and WH questions. So who, what, when, where, why. We're going to use irregular verbs, so do, and the irregular verbs have and go. We're going to recognize and use common phrasal verbs, and we're going to talk about jobs, studies, and daily routines. So if this sounds interesting to you, let's get started with the lesson. Now, why is this an important thing? We use the present simple every day to talk about jobs, school, and routines. It helps with conversations such as, let's say someone says, do you have a job? Where do you go to school? And then answering, I don't like early mornings. You can ask questions to find out more information. You can keep the conversation going and you can answer these questions. We'll learn all this and more in today's lesson. Now, if you would like some help with worksheets or money off tutoring, you should go to allmylinks.com/simplesl21. It'll have all my discount links for tutoring, access to our worksheets from our Patreon page. If you scan the QR code, tap the link in the description or in the bio to explore everything. So that's allmylinks.com/simplesl21. Now, forming positive and negative sentences. For a positive sentence, we have subject, the base form of the verb, and then we add on s to the end of the verb if it's he, she, or it. This in its most simplest form. There are certain occasions when this won't be the case, but we'll touch on those in another lesson. So I, subject, work, base form of the verb, in an office. She studies English. So she, the base form of the verb, study. And we've actually used an example here of one of those occasions where it's more than just the S. If it ends in a Y, you would add IES for she, he, and it. So study ends in a Y, becomes studies English. If we say she works in an office, we just add an S. Negative sentences are formed by subject plus do or does not plus the base form of the verb. I do not, or we can contract this to don't. I do not like coffee. He does not, which can be contracted to doesn't, play football. So for he, she, or it, we would use does not. For I, you, we, they, it is do not. And the contraction, making it shorter. So we smash together do and not to become don't. Does and not together makes doesn't. He doesn't play football. We also have the yes-no questions. Now, yes-no questions, these are very simple responses to the question you're asked. So, do you study English? The answer is either yes or no. These are simple questions with simple answers. Does she have a job? Yes, she does. No, she doesn't. We use the verb to do. So does or doesn't for he, she, or it. Do you study English? Yes, I do. No, I don't. Now, what questions, or WH questions, allow you to get more information? So we could say, do you go to school? That's a yes-no question. Where do you go to school? Or where do you go after school? That's the question I've asked. Where do you go after school? This allows you to form a sentence to answer the question. Where do you go after school? I go to the park to play football. For example, another WH question. What does he do? He cooks. He plays football. WH questions. What, when, where, why, who. It allows us to gather more information. We have a little practice with a gap fill exercise. I'd like you to fill in the blanks. So, she work in a hospital. What do we do with the verb to work to fill in the blank? Did she work in a hospital? We would add an S. She works in a hospital. Let's try another one. They, and I want us to use negative, not and the verb to play, tennis on Sundays. If it's they, what do we do? They do or does. It'd be do, not. Can we contract it? We or they don't play tennis on Sundays. He study at university. Now, we would add an S, but this one ends in Y. Do you remember the rule from earlier in the lesson? If there's a Y, it would be IES. He studies at university. I, negative, so not like. So the verb to like, negative, not, spicy food. What is our answer? 3, 2, 1. I don't like spicy food. We have 2 cats. The verb to have, does it change, and how does it change? We have 2 cats. It stays the same. It's one of those rare occasions where the verb will stay the same. So we have 2 cats. We'll do a little bit of guided practice here with correct the mistake. You're going to see some sentences. I want you to find what is wrong in those sentences. She don't go to school on Saturday. What's wrong in this sentence? She don't go to school on Saturday. Should it be do not? If it's she, he, it should be doesn't. She doesn't go to school on Saturday. Does he plays football? That doesn't sound right. Does he plays football? Does he play football? We do not need the S after play. I has a part-time job. I has a part-time job. 3, 2, 1. I have a part-time job. They doesn't like maths. Should it be does not? Should it be do not? And how can we contract it? They don't like maths. Final one. Where do she live? Where do she live? This is he, she, it. Where does she live? Hopefully you got all of those correct. If you'd like more practice of it, why not try using our worksheets you can find on our Patreon page. You can use the link in the description or go to allmylinks/simple-esl21. We have a sentence scramble exercise. Put the words in the correct order. Do what in you do the morning. I'm going to give you 3, 2, 1. What do you do in the morning? Well done if you got that correct. If you need more time, pause. You can look at the screen, write down your answers, and then see the correct answer. We're going to try our second one here. Goes he to work bus by? Goes he to work bus by? what would be the answer? 3, 2, 1. He goes to work by bus. Not we Saturdays on work do. So what do we not do? We do not work on Saturdays. Well done if you had that correct. We're going to try another question here. Does she where live? We're asking a question here. What is the question? Where does she live? Like don't I homework? Making a statement here. So if I ask you, do you like homework? You would say, I don't like homework. Well done again for doing those. We're going to have a look at our next exercise, which is a completion exercise. I would like us to go through the dialogue and find the correct answers. So take a moment to read. You go to school every day. What can we put in that first gap? Yes, I. What time you start? I at 9 o'clock. And what your sister do? She to university. Fill in the blanks. Make sure you're using the correct version of the verbs. If it's he, she or it, don't forget to add an S on the end. I'll give you a few seconds to have a think. Pause the video if you need some more time. We're going to move on to our answers now. Do you go to school every day? Yes, I do. What time do you start? I start at 9 o'clock. And what does your sister do? Now have a look at this answer here. She goes to university. We put an E in there. Much like do. If the verb is ending in an O, so do, go, we would put ES. So it's another one of those that doesn't quite follow the rule. She, the verb to go, goes to university. Good work if you got those correct, and there was a bit of a tricky answer there with the final question. But well done if you got it correct. We're going to have a look at some jobs. So I want us to practice answering these questions. So ask and answer. Do you have a job? Here's some example answers you could have to this question. Yes, I do. No, I don't. These are your short answers. If you want to give a longer answer, we could say, yes, I have a job. I work in a shop. And here's a negative answer. No, I don't. I have a job. No, I don't have a job. I'm still studying. And examples with daily routine. Yes, I do. I work in an office and I usually start at 9 o'clock. So we have our yes-no answers for a yes-no question. We have some positive and negative answers, and we have an example of one which is a really good answer. Gives you an idea of the daily routine. Let's try another here. Where do you go to school? Is this a yes-no answer? It's not. We're using a WH question. So we have to give some more information. We're going to use the verb to go. I go to school in my town. A full sentence answer. I go to school at Greenfields Secondary School. And an extended answer with some routine. I go to school at Riverside College. I usually start classes at 8:30 in the morning. So we can see how we can build up our answers and how we're building these for the future. Now, I would like you in your own time, using today's lesson, using the grammar, the vocabulary that we've been going through, to answer one of these questions. Do you have a job? Where do you go to school? What does your friend do? Do you study English every day? What phrasal verbs can you use for work or study? Have a think and try to answer some of these questions. Thinking of phrasal verbs, what is a phrasal verb and which ones can we use for talking about routine? So some common phrasal verbs we can use. Get up. So I get up at 7. Look for. She looks for a new job. Go out. We go out on Fridays. Take care of. He takes care of his brother. So practice these and make your own sentences. Use some of these phrasal verbs if you're struggling to think of some. This is how you can build up your answers to these questions and add more information, especially to those WH questions. So what did we cover in today's lesson? Today we learned how to use positive and negative sentences with the present simple. We did this for yes, no and WH questions. Who, what, when, where, why. And we did this using irregular verbs. So to do, to have and to go. We also touched on phrasal verbs using jobs and routines as our subject. If you would like more practice with this, you can practice speaking with friends or with a tutor. If you're looking for an online tutor, you can use my links to get 30% off your trial lesson with Preply. I would recommend this if you're looking for an online tutor. Write 5 sentences about your daily routine. This is a good little homework task for you to do. And ask 3 questions to a partner, to a friend, someone who you can ask questions to. If you would like more practice with this, why not go to Simple-ESL, and this is at Patreon. On our Patreon page, we have got lots of worksheets and things to help you with your English journey. So you can find this at all my links /Simple-ESL21. Thank you very much for joining us today, and we will see you in our next lesson. Have a wonderful day.